1, 2, 3. This is the Cider Ranch Podcast. I'm Ben.
And I'm Mike. Whoa! Hey, Benny. How are you there, pal?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good.
Are you ready for the next episode of the Cider Ranch Podcast?
I am. There's not as much research into this one, but that's fine. We're still getting our feet, and we have some topics that we want to discuss today. Don't laugh at me as we're chatting.
It's what I do.
I still don't know how to talk to the people.
We're
still learning.
The people are the viewers are few and far between right now.
They are who they say we are.
But they are who they say we are. And they will only get bigger in numbers as time goes on, hopefully. And I'm just assuming.
I think you're right. I think that after I messed up our second take of this podcast,
I think it's been 3.
It might have been 3. It was 2 minutes into the last one. It was really terrible. I completely ruined it. But you said, you just have to fight through the cringe and keep going. And I think you're right.
You have to fight through the cringe because
no.
But
go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Yes. Sorry.
Yes.
But don't you in a weird way? Don't you have to be cringy in the beginning in order to get better?
You do.
Later?
But you know what? I was kind of embarrassed because I've effed it up royally. But you persisted, which was great. And I should have fed off that energy. But I was like kind of slouched in my seat, like defeated that I had ruined the take.
No. But the thing you didn't ruin anything. I think it's just we're learning, and I'm sure I'm going to screw up a million times over too. And it is what it is. And yeah, we're just going to get better.
Agreed.
How many cliches do you think we said in the first minute and a half of this podcast so far?
At least 8. But I think that the viewers might appreciate it. They're not going to appreciate it. But anyways, you were mentioning viewers. There was a viewer from a certain country. Are we going to touch on this?
Yeah, so basically we use Anchor, the podcast platform Anchor. And on it actually breaks it down. I'm not sure if other ones do this, but it broke down our viewership, where our listeners are from. So on it, we had listeners from North America. Obviously, we have Canada, like where we're from. And we had one in the US, but it didn't specify exactly where. But we also had a viewer in Germany. And it was in a small town. I don't even know the name of it.
You're going to butcher it, but you got to try.
I can't, because I don't know what it is, because I can't even look it up right now. I can't look it up. I have no idea what it is. It's like Lichtenberg or something like that.
Not to be confused with Liechtenstein, but it probably was some random city in Germany. Yeah. And I don't think that it's a bot, because you're saying it could be a bot. But
I still think it's a bot.
I don't know. I think that we have one international fan right now that is just waiting for the next SOAR episode. SOAR, by the way, is Cider Ranch. We're going to get into that. Yeah. We want to call it SOAR because it sounds sick.
Yeah, it sounds insane.
So,
but in all honesty, why does somebody in a small town in Germany want to listen to an English podcast called Cider Ranch, where we talk about just, at this point, really not much? Like, why? Why would that one person listen to it?
One person in Germany right now that is giving us one shot, and they're going to see what we're going to come out with. We're taking our one shot, and I think we owe it to him or her.
What do? Well, we know it's a male, okay, and we know they're between the ages of 28 to 34. It's
called demographics on it.
That's our demographic. Wow. Every person that's listening to our podcast, according to this, is male between the ages of 28 and 34, which we know is not true. So we know we've had some female listeners. And so we're a little kind of worried about that, but who knows, right?
I agree.
Anyways, shall we move on?
I think we should.
Cool.
If that German guy's listening right now, he'll be excited for what we're talking about next.
Yes. Refrain from saying anything Germanic, because I only know a couple words and I don't think it'd be appropriate to say.
I know how to say, do you speak German in German? And it's Sprechen Sie Deutsch, there. And that means, do you speak German in German? I'm
kind of referencing like the 1940s area, like around that time.
Yeah.
I know a few words from then. I don't know if it...
You know 1940s German, or you know a phrase from 1940s?
I know a few phrases, but I'm just going to keep it. I'm going to keep it locked in, if you know what I mean. Just leave it at that. Okay. Anyway, so let's move on.
I think before we jump into what we talk about, though, I think you wanted to say something?
Yeah, so Ben and I just wanted to shout out to our good friend Ryan.
Yep.
So Ryan actually runs a podcast on this Anchor platform as well, and it's called The Hockey Minute. and it's a really, really good, informative hockey podcast where him and his co-host delve into various topics, and they're very good with their uploads.
Yeah.
And we've noticed lately that their quality and their content is just getting better and better.
It's amazing. It's extremely professional. I've listened to all the episodes. I think they've done it extremely well. I think they're both local from here, and they it's just an extremely well done hockey podcast. If you want, the latest NHL, but it's not even NHL stuff. They go on about the AHL. They go on about different types of hockey leagues and things like that, and it's just super informative and very well done.
It's very good, and I recommend anyone check it out that's interested in hockey or just wants to hear a couple guys, chatting and just seem to be having a really good time. So once again, it's called The Hockey Minute, and check it out. And
I gotta say too, their voices got some pretty sexy voices on there.
Oh, amazing!
Yeah,
amazing.
But
cool. Let's so what do we want to talk about today?
Well, we kind of had mentioned both of these topics before, but we wanted to kind of talk more about gaming today. I think that we wanted to talk about, we were going to talk and dive into mobile gaming a bit. I definitely have had my fair share of mobile gaming, my fair share of struggles with it.
Hold on. Before we kind of get into this, let's set this table up a bit. So when you say mobile gaming, like what types of games are you kind of talking? Are you talking about like Scrabble, like any type of mobile game? Or are we talking like a little bit, like something that takes a little bit more time to get into?
Well, I hate painful to say this because it's been a struggle, but I used to play games like that. But I used to be addicted to a game called Clash Royale. It used to kind of, and I mean, it's an amazing game. It's kind of like you collect cards, and then with these cards, you have different troops and units and spells that you get. And the whole point of it is to take over someone else's towers, beat them, right? So I've sunk in, I would say I've probably sunk in hundreds of hours into this game. Not a lot of money, but I spent a bit of money on it, and I was able to get ranked in Canada. So I have been ranked before. There's millions of players. I've been world ranked once, but just like in the thousands, the top, like, maybe 10,000s. But I realized that I've been like playing it a lot lately. I realized I played it the other day for like 7 hours. So I just said, screw it. Yeah. I'm going to delete it.
Well, have you,
it's just tough.
How long have you been playing this game?
I've been playing this one since, I think a couple of years. It might have been 3 years, like on and off. I've always kind of struggled with like being addicted to some games, and I get really angry when I lose. And when I lose, like your rank goes down, so I want to get my rank back up, and it's kind of a vicious cycle of playing.
The thing is, you're a very competitive person, right? Yeah. So everyone handles like competitiveness differently, but when I even recognize like when you play games like that, any online game where you invest yourself in, you invest yourself fully and completely into it. It's not you're not a very casual gamer. You have to really get into it, right? That's what I've noticed.
And that's perfect because you hit the nail on the head, because you can, so that game specifically, you can play casually up to a certain point, and then your trophies, which is like your ranking, gets to a certain time, and then it's not casual play anymore. Everyone is using kind of the same deck because they want to beat. So they are playing, decks that the pros are using. Yeah. Or the pros that get actually paid to play this game. So it just gets frustrating because I like to make my own decks.
Yeah.
I'm giving excuses for why I don't want to play it, when really the real reason is that I just get addicted to playing it, and I'm not investing my time where I should be, right?
But when you say like people get these big decks, so how are they knowing what? Are they just watching other people play?
It's not so much a big deck. It depends on, so the people that are always ranked really high at the end of each season, they play, there's about 8 certain decks that go around that are the same. So there's about 100 cards in the game, and there's maybe about 8 specific decks that are the same through every season. So the cards don't change. So what we're seeing is that the same cards are kind of dominating what we call the meta. So they dominate the meta. The same people are playing the exact same decks. And so people like in my trophy range, because I'm not really a pro, they play the same kinds of decks. And I don't want to talk like a lot about this, but they can play the same kinds of decks, and it's not fun because you play the same things over and over. Yeah. And people really, I just kind of complain and go like, oh, well, why can't you make your own deck? You don't have that. But I don't know. I feel like I kind of got you kind of back into it, but you like the chest opening kind of things, right?
So my thing, like, it sounds kind of weird, but I'm more of a casual gamer when it comes to mobile gaming. But when it comes to certain other games, like for example, I don't know, like you give me like a role playing game, an RPG on like the PlayStation or Xbox or whatever, and I'll invest myself into it. But it's more of like a single player thing, and I invest fully into it, and I'll play it for hours and hours and days until I beat it, and then I'm done, and then I can walk away from it and be satisfied with it. I don't need to keep replaying the game over and over again. Like I know sometimes there's a lot of games that, for example, the Final Fantasy VII remake. Not to kind of go away from Clash a little bit, but that game was unreal. Like I played.
You were talking about that for weeks before it came out.
Yeah, and I got it opening day, and I don't do that with games at all. Like I used to when I was younger. I think I stayed in line once for a Call of Duty game at midnight at Walmart when I was like 18 or something. But now I never get games on the release date because I just don't. I can't. It's not that I can't be bothered. It's just it doesn't interest me enough. But when this game came out, because of the nostalgia and the game, I knew it was going to be, you almost knew it was going to be good. Yeah. I had to have it. So I got it, and I basically started playing it, and I just invested all my time into it. And that's basically all I did for a week and a half, beat it, and it left me with the feeling of like, oh, what next? Yeah. But I was done.
I think that's a great point. I think that I'm gonna, start getting into like, because I was playing The Witcher for a bit. I love the Witcher series.
See, I played that one, but I didn't give it enough time. I think I played like an hour or two.
You can get lost just roaming the lands. Yeah. Like here comes a cringe shout out, but CD Projekt Red is the name of the group that produced it.
It's got a dragon logo.
And I
know that.
This tiny kind of developer group, and they made probably one of the most prolific video games of all time. And I'm still playing it. Like I've sunk probably like 50 plus hours.
But see that's a game where you look back and you go, okay, it's not online.
Yeah.
It's not a multiplayer game.
It's not ranked. I don't have to worry about losing. Like, and shout out because I know that a lot of my close friends still play Clash Royale. Maybe I'll get back into it again, but for me, I just know that I get too addicted to it.
Yeah.
But anyways, you were also. You'd kind of be getting into Warzone too, because I was into Warzone, and I think that and I hated battle royales.
Yeah.
But this is like the one battle royale where I feel like they've done it right.
Let me just say,
I really enjoy it.
Okay, the reason why I like it is because even though the map is massive, it doesn't feel that big.
No.
Because when I would play a game like PUBG or Fortnite,
PUBG.
I played a little bit of Fortnite. So
don't get me started on Fortnite.
But I don't know enough about it really. But PUBG, I just found the maps were so big and so vast, and you'd never run into anybody. Yeah. Whereas with Warzone, you jump down, you're running into people basically right away if you pick the right area. It's fun, it's fast, it's Call of Duty. Everyone knows how to play Call of Duty.
Everyone knows how to do it.
Everyone can pick up a controller.
I was just going to say.
Same controls. There's no really... The learning curve is super small. It's easy to get. It's fun. And it's perfect for quarantine because everyone's at home anyway.
It's so true.
Like, I know people at work that are buying Xboxes and PlayStations just to play this.
Call of Duty...
It's fun, man.
Yeah. Matt, by the way, buy the Xbox One.
Shout out to Matt.
Shout out to Matt. But I agree. The thing with Warzone, actually, I think because Activision's a developer, they're probably thanking their lucky stars that honestly quarantine's happening, because right now everyone is playing Warzone. Not a lot of people are playing. Sorry. Not a lot of people, he's just typing something to me, he's making me laugh. Not a lot of people are playing Fortnite as much anymore because I think like me, I hated being behind someone for about 20 seconds, and then all of a sudden I shoot them, they've built a mansion. I can't do anything.
Yeah.
I can't build something, like I can't play games like that anymore. I can't build an entire house to shoot. Oh, look, he's shooting at me from the third floor.
Yeah, but the problem with that, I've only played it a few times, but it seems like the kind of game that you need to play on the computer because you're using your mouse.
You gotta have hotkeys.
You gotta have hotkeys. With the controller, you can only do so much. And isn't Fortnite a multi-platform game? So you play with other people that are on the computer and stuff.
Yeah. So what's Warzone though?
Warzone's like that too.
I played a couple people where I've just been lasered and I've just gotten killed, and I realized that it was like, okay, probably not a console player.
I think that's a problem. I'm okay with that to a point.
There shouldn't be cross-platform.
But there should be cross-platform with consoles. Yeah, PS4, Xbox, sure.
But not a computer.
But if you have a computer, like, there's no chance.
The access is just...
There's no chance.
You get such a big... If you're playing against a console person where, like... And people know, like, if you're playing on a console, when you're running with the person, you're using the left and the right stick, there's not as much movement or ability to shoot as there would be a mouse. Like with the mouse, you can go everyone at the same time and you can strafe. Anyways, we're getting kind of technical, but yeah, the thing for me that's kind of exciting, and there's probably a couple of nerds out there that like this part, but we, Aaron and I recently played with one of our friends' birthdays. We did like a virtual, it was like an online virtual D&D session. And I remember that you were talking about it, but I had, I would be that person, years ago who would kind of bash on D&D. I was like, oh, that looks stupid. How do you play a game where there's no board? How am I going to get into it? But really, like, there's a lot of math involved with it, with like the roles that you do, and with, choosing, like, and if you've got a dungeon master or game master who is, kind of telling you how to be able to try to be able to set the stage for you and be able to set the stage and kind of walk you through this universe where you can do different things. Like it's actually super fun. Like it was, I never thought I would like something like that, but I know that you were talking about that you might want to attempt something like that too one day, or just dabble in it to see what it's like. So
it's something I've never done it. I've always wanted to play it. I was actually looking into it because I know we were talking about it the other day. Well, first off, we're playing Poker Stars too, so we're all getting together and we're playing Poker Stars, which is fun.
Super fun.
So we're having a game night once in a while, but it would be fun to have like more online games. Right? I know you guys are playing Catan online once in a while, but there is also like D&D stuff, which looks kind of fun. I've never tried it, but there's a website called Roll20.
Okay, yeah,
.com or something.
Yeah,
and it's free. And you just sign up and you can just start playing whatever you want. Like there's games on there that are free. You can buy like D&D stuff. You can buy Pathfinder games, which
we were playing Pathfinder too. And just collecting the dice. Like I've got a whole bunch of different types of dice too, because our friends got us into like collecting dice. Like, the D6s, which is just D6 just means like a dice with 6 sides, right? Yeah. So a D20, which are the main ones you roll, like they're so cool. Like some of the dice cost upwards of $100 for one die.
So
it could be like totally metal. It could be fabricated, and it can be can actually have partial gemstones in it. So that's why it's expensive.
Holy.
And there's like it's big. Like and D&D is still massive. Like we listen to things online. There's a website called Critical Role, where they basically do an online, all these voice actors get together, and they have this one voice actor who's really good. His name is Matt Mercer. Mm-hmm. And they just basically will go through a campaign of we're talking like 100-hour campaign of going through these characters and these rich storylines and all these people that are fleshed out just over like a couple episodes. And it's really cool. If you got the imagination for it, like it's definitely not for everyone, but if you got the imagination for it, like I got right into it. I felt like when we were doing it with our friend group, we jumped right into it. I'm this rogue that's jumping across trees and, trying to do a sneak attack on a bad guy that's below carrying this lantern, right? Anyways.
I think that's fun too, because it definitely it gets you out of your comfort zone a bit.
Totally.
How many people it's obviously popular, but people aren't playing that.
It's time, right? No, you're right. I think it's very niche. It's a very niche thing,
but it's fun. I mean, it is fun if you you have to be with the right group, right? You have to be with the right people. You have to be playing with people that are like-minded and are willing to kind of put themselves out there and be imaginative
and jump into that role. Who cares? Like, be goofy, be nerdy. That's the whole point of it. I embrace it.
Yeah, you don't have to walk in and be like, I am a dwarf and I have an axe and I'm +1 on the attack.
It's funny because your dwarf
you don't have to do that.
Sounds like drunk Gandalf.
Every single accent, every single thing I do always sounds exactly the same.
It's okay. I love it.
Every time. But I love it.
I love it, and I wouldn't want you to change.
You're right. It's like Gandalf when he's standing there with the Balrog, and he looks at the Balrog and he goes, "Flame of Odin."
We did this last podcast, but just because Flame of Odin.
Did we actually do that in the last?
We did.
Oh,
so now we have to throw in a Flame of Odin every podcast.
Should we drop it in? Flame of Odin.
We can.
The dark force will not avail you.
The dark flame shall not avail you.
Flame of Odin.
It's amazing. that could be another whole podcast. Is Lord of the Ring talk.
Oh, we should do that.
We could.
I'd be down.
I would be down. But speaking movies, I know I had said this just because I am a huge fan.
Yeah.
If I wasn't already married,
Who would you be with if you weren't already married?
Well, Tom Hardy would be a close second, but honestly, it'd be steamy, dreamy Leo DiCaprio.
Ooh.
And he is, he probably is for me. I would say he's probably the best actor of our generation. I think that, and I have become a prude when I talk about this, but I feel like actors that can, a lot of actors can do the boisterous physical stuff. I feel like that's not as challenging as conveying a lot of the emotional roles. Like
right.
I knew that he was going to win for Inception when he won the Oscar for Inception.
But he's
for The Revenant. Sorry, The Revenant.
The Revenant. But the crazy. Here, kind of going back to the Oscar thing really quick. He did not win any Oscar up until that point.
He never won. Everyone gets, it's very political. Everyone gets their shot. So some people are going to win over whatever years, and unfortunately, a lot of the times, what happens is whatever kind of current events might be dictating the social milieu, as it were. Those people usually might win an Oscar. I don't know. It depends. It really depends on like, and when I mean those people, I mean the people from like the Screen Actors Guild that basically choose who's going to win an Oscar.
If you make a really topical film and it's very socially motivated and it's good, like, and whoever the main actor is or actress, they're going to be up for an award. Even if the performance is subpar, there's a high chance they're going to be up for it. That's just my opinion.
Yeah,
it just seems to be. It always is the case, which isn't a bad thing, but you're kind of taking away a lot of respect from good actors and actresses too, because you're focusing on certain films more so than others. Like look at DiCaprio when he did Inception and Shutter Island. He did them both I think they came out the same year. I think Inception.
Shutter Island was first,
but I think it was the same year.
Yeah,
I'm almost positive. I'll quickly look it up. Anyways, sorry. What were you saying?
No, I was gonna say Shutter Island is one of those movies because Mark Ruffalo's in that one with it. And it's very, not giving anything away, but it's kind of one of those very, the topic of mental health is all throughout Shutter Island, and that's a very kind of dear topic to me when talking about mental health and things like that. But it was Ben Kingsley was in that too. It was really good because him and Mark Ruffalo, they play these two detectives and they go to this insane asylum and a whole bunch of kind of crazy stuff goes down, and I really liked it. It was super engaging all the way through, a lot of kind of creepy elements to it at the same time. There's some parts that aren't for the faint of heart, so if you kind of, you don't like the creepy stuff, maybe kind of come away from it then. Inception, when did Inception come out?
Shutter Island came out in 2010.
I want to say it was 2013.
Inception came out in 2010 as well.
You're right.
So
Inception was after.
Shutter Island was February and Inception was July. And I remember that because it was the same year, and I remember him having those two amazing movies back to back. And going, how does he not actually win an Oscar? It doesn't make any sense. But it's been 10 years since both these movies came out. It's insane. The first one was Shutter Island was Martin Scorsese.
That's right.
And Inception was Christopher Nolan. Like, how do you beat that?
Inception has Inception has one of the craziest endings in like Hollywood history, but it's got a blockbuster cast that Joseph Gordon-Levitt's in it, Michael Caine's in it. I think obviously, Tom Hardy's obviously in it, but DiCaprio, it's such I love the idea that you could inject a memory or a false memory or a dream into someone and then have that like dictate their reality. Like it's but I love the psychology kind of stuff behind movies. That one, I think it's good too, because right now, like, people are just trying to find things to keep themselves busy, new things to kind of keep them engaged. Right. And I think it kind of comes back to, okay, we're interested in these things. Let's talk about them. But it's also, hey, how do we keep ourselves engaged? How do we keep ourselves motivated? Let's learn more about mobile gaming. Let's start playing some games. Let's start finding some stuff that interests us. It doesn't have to be games. It can be anything, right? Mm-hmm. Movies, like what kind of movies we're interested in. What other types of podcasts are out there, right? It's just kind of like a big group and amalgamation of things where, hey, I don't have to just do one thing. I can do a bunch of different things and like really, and especially right now. People have these abilities, have these things to do. You don't have to just sit at home and not do anything. There's so many options out there. So many streaming services, right? Like there's just so many things you can do. Ways that you could watch movies together with people. Like you could have you and whoever else, and then another couple watch a movie. So say you stream it through like FaceTime or go through Skype and watch a movie that way, or do something like play try Catan online. Like, just don't get upset when someone cuts you off. That's the very first thing, and then you can't build.
Yep.
And then you can't do anything.
Yeah.
That's besides the point. But go watch a DiCaprio movie. Go watch Titanic. It is still a good movie. Love story aside, it's a great movie.
I haven't seen the whole thing.
You watch it, your heart will go on. It will. I had to. I had to.
That was fine. I'll let it slide.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think that's pretty much it for number 3.
That was a quicker one.
But you know what?
Sore number 3 is coming down the pipe. But I really
Sore
do.
number 3.
Sore number 3. I don't know. I think it's good to have these as well, that we just kind of pick some topics that we, are, especially with like the D&D. Like I love talking about that. We could do I could literally talk for hours about that and different types of, characters that you can play and things like that. But, yeah, I thought that we
will talk about it. Like that's something like I said, I'm going to look into, do a little bit more research on the whole Roll20 thing and see if I can find some games to play on. And then
I think it'd be really cool to actually be a DM and like actually dictate, do that kind of thing.
It'd be sick if we could find something like that. And then we'll obviously play a little bit more poker and stuff.
For sure. You can't cry again if you go on and you lose again.
Which has happened multiple times. And it's going to be even worse next time because I'm going to push and I'm going to lose again. We'll see.
Yeah. But thanks everyone for listening. Be sure to stay tuned for more stuff as it comes out.
All right, Benny. Have a good one, man.
You too. Bye.